So I want to introduce you to Annette Unheim. She creates fine art macro photos like this one right outside her door. She doesn't need to travel, and you don't need to travel either. So let's hear what Annette has to say about how she takes fine art macro photos. And with me is Annette Unheim. She is with us from Norway. Annette, you have some amazing macro photos, and this one really has caught my eye. Can you tell us, how did you take this photo?
It was just right outside my house. We have a gravel road that goes to a small lake that is close to my house. There had been raining a lot the night before, and it was a little bit early in the morning, and it just caught my eye. The droplets was like perfectly lying on the leaf. So I just bent down with my macro lens and just took it like straight down, just lying like flat on the ground.
Yes. Well, it looks absolutely fantastic. You've got this other one of a dandelion, which just looks so cool. Tell us about that shot.
Yes, I often go for walks around a lake that is close to my house. And sometimes I plan my shots, but sometimes I also just, I go for a walk with my camera with the intention of taking photos. But I try to just use my eyes and just look for something that speaks to me, that I feel something. And this dandelion was sort of perfect and imperfect at the same time. And that's something that I really like. It's like they're like cute, and you can sort of see a personality in the flowers or in the weeds. And also that I saw in this one. I look for the ones that speak to me, sort of on an emotional level, sort of, yeah. And that's what this one did. It sort of was standing there like looking up.
Another photo I want to ask you about is this round glass ball. It's called a lens ball, just made of glass. How did you take this shot?
Yes, we have actually a beach pretty close, 20 minutes driving. And I go there sometimes to take sunsets. And I was there for a sunset, and the light was really golden. And I wanted to try an experiment with this lens ball, making it sort of the hero, as you say, and having the beautiful light in the background and see how it was reflecting. So I put it on the ground, and I laid down on the ground like completely in the sand to take the shot from below sort of and straight at it. I was trying to get the water to reflect in the light in the lens ball.
So these are just 3 photos out of a really amazing portfolio that you have. And it seems like you have now started specializing in these close-up macro photos. Would you say that that's true?
Yes, it is definitely true. It's sort of like I found my voice or my thing. There's something with the macro photography that really spoke to me.
How does it make you feel inside as the artist and as the creator?
It just feels amazing. It's like the best feeling ever. Just taking the photos, I think it gives me a sense of sort of peace, and just feel like your heart sings somehow, or I'm not sure how to explain it. It makes me feel very proud actually, and very, very happy. Yes, very happy.
I think she has absolutely amazing photos. And what is so incredible about her photography is that she's able to create these photos while out on a walk, just walking from home. And what she's doing, we're going to take a quick look at some of her photos in a little more detail here. What she's doing, and the reason she has found such success through her photography, is that she has very clear main subjects, and she helps to make them even more clear and make her main subjects stand out even more. Like, look at this photo on your screen. Look at the background. There is no background. The background is just dark, and there's no clutter in the photo. And I call this, with using the principle of storytelling, in every story, there is a hero, and there is usually a villain or more than one villain. And the point of creating the ability to create a powerful composition like this one is to crop out the villains. This is the biggest mistake that beginner photographers make, is they have too many villains in their frame. They have too much clutter, too much noise, too many distractions, just overall too much stuff in the photo. You need the one thing. And this is what Annette has perfected, is highlighting the one thing. And she doesn't just do it through finding a composition. She also is continuing that process of making her composition powerful through her editing. This is the screen from Annette's computer. She uses an app that's called Lightroom. Lightroom, in a way, is similar to Photoshop. You've heard of Photoshop. Some of you may use Photoshop. I don't really use Photoshop very much at all because Photoshop is complicated and it was not designed for photographers, but Lightroom is designed for photographers and it's so easy to use. The photo on the left is the original picture straight out of Annette's camera, and the photo on the right is the finished piece of artwork after a short editing session. So the key thing to notice here is that Annette removed the green and yellow color tones out of the original, and she also darkened the entire image so that the main subject becomes more the hero of the story. You're going to hear me say a lot, just one thing, just one thing. I think back to that movie from the 80s, The Hunt for Red October, where Sean Connery was the captain of a submarine. He was Russian and he needed to communicate with the Americans, and he gave an order, one ping only. And when I'm in the field, I literally hear his voice say that, one ping only. And that reminds me to find a composition of just the one thing. And that is what Annette has done here. So again, here's another before and after. The green and the yellow tones have been removed, and anything that looked yellow has been replaced with orange tones. And the background has been darkened so that there are no distractions in the image. And there's one clear hero to this picture and one clear hero to this story. There are no distractions. And here's the final one. Same thing. The green and the yellow tones have been removed from the original on the left. And the overall image, like right across the whole image, was darkened very dramatically. But then Annette, it's like she shined a spotlight on the main subject to brighten it back up. And when I say she shined a light on it, I don't mean that she actually physically had a flashlight when she was out in the field. What she did is that she selectively brightened up the center of the image in Lightroom. Like she painted in some light in Lightroom, just like an artist uses a paintbrush. Annette brushed in light over top of that main subject, which means that the eye of the viewer will be attracted to exactly what Annette wants you to look at, and she darkened the areas that she didn't want you to look at. So the final result of Annette's photography is that she has created her own art. Remember that in fine art photography, our objective is not to document reality. We are not photojournalists. We're not crime scene photographers who have a specific objective of only documenting reality. We are fine art photographers, and that's what you are. You're a fine art photographer, and we have a very different goal, which is to create our own fine art that we are very, very proud of, and that is pleasing to the eye. So the final result of Annette's photography is that she's created her own art. And remember, that she is sticking with one genre and one theme for her photography. She's specializing in one aspect of photography, and she's mastering it. And this is how you get good at something. You focus in on one thing and you repeat that process over and over. And in doing so, you get better and better.